that wasn't a great start. I usually put a paddle float in this boat to act as a backrest. Of course I've left it at home, so I'm using a dry bag and it seems to be alright. Well, it's already quite late in the afternoon. I've spent all day working in the garden, and this is my wee reward for doing all that work. About 2 hours left of east going tide, so we'll use some of that to go down to the causeway, and then it'll have slackened off and allow me to come back, or at least that's the theory. Wonder what will actually happen. A fair bit of swell coming in. The submerged rock known as Blind Rock, or the Blin, over to my left, and a wee rocky promontory to my right, and I might be able to thread my way between them, or maybe not. Just watch and see that. Yeah. Maybe that's kicking up a bit too much. Let's go round the outside. It would be much too embarrassing to capsize on the Blin. After all, I know it's there. I wimped off, but hey ho. There were just a few big sets coming in, and if a big one arrived at the wrong moment, it could be swimming rather than paddling, and I'd really rather not go swimming. The sea here off the north coast of Antrim is usually really clear. You can see for meters down, but we've had days and days of heavy rain. Yesterday it didn't stop, and the wee river down there at the beach is flowing very fast, and there's a great big stain of brown peaty water coming out into the sea. And that's what I'm sitting in the middle of. So, a bit like river paddling. As soon as I dip my blade, it disappears. Some quite meaty rollers coming in too. They won't bother me out here, but I'm certainly not going any closer to the beach. This is not a surfing boat. You certainly can't see them on the camera yet, but I've just seen 2 sets of dorsal fins. This is Runkerry Head, and the tide and the swell are meeting each other here. It's often quite rough and lumpy. And the mile marker rock, at least that's what it's known locally, because it resembles a milestone, a coaching milestone from a few hundred years ago. Something's breaking in front of me. Something's breaking beside me, pushing me offshore again. I'm in luck. The dolphins are going the same direction as me. Saw one again just a moment ago. I wasn't very far away. Well, away from that headland, and conditions have settled down quite a bit. So I've made it into this bay, into the World Heritage Site, the Giant's Causeway. You see that big formation of hexagonal stones, though I'm afraid you're going to have to take my word for it that they're hexagonal. And I'm going to have to keep my eye on what I'm doing. It's not actually breaking on the causeway, it's breaking on that little reef off the causeway. So if I keep the power on the paddle, I'll get through here. Yeehaw! Yes! Hello touristy people, hope you're having a nice day out. At least it's stopped raining. The tourists are only about 2 kilometres behind us, and yet only adventurous walkers use the footpath on top of the cliffs. Not many kayakers come in here. It's a majestic, awe-inspiring and slightly scary place. I absolutely love it. There's the dolphins again, pair of them. Every time I plan to turn round and head for home, I get another wee sighting and it tempts me on. Come on you two, don't be shy. Oh, there they are. I really need to go back, but well, it's dolphins. Slightly worryingly, even without paddling, I'm doing almost 2 knots away from home, so I'm going to have a bit of work to do. Yeah, time to turn round.
Wind becoming for 6 to 7 and later location southwesterly mainly 4 or 5. Weather by briskly and
Summer's back on its usual course. Not just a small craft warning being issued, a gale warning. So force 6 to 7 imminent. That means I need to get off the water. And gale force winds tonight. But I'll be safely tucked up in my teddy bear by then. Now, there's not much to see, well, apart from the beautiful scenery. But that bay is Port Nispania. And the wee rocky promontory coming out here is Lacada Point. So, Port Nispania. No prizes for working out that translates into Spanish port. And Lacada Point, a sort of lizard or gecko point. And actually from up above, looking down off the cliffs, it does look like a lizard. And this place is significant because one of the ships of the Spanish Armada foundered here. And it was well known that a ship had gone down, but nobody knew where the wreck was until a clever German archaeologist diver looked at the map and realised that the clue had been right in front of us all the time with those Spanish names. So back in the 70s when I was a child, they sneaked out of Port Ballantrae Harbour where I started today and went diving. and discovered the wreck, and then they sneaked back in subsequent summers to map it and to recover the artifacts, and it was proper Spanish treasure. Bits of the ship, including the cannon, but gold plate, silver plates, goblets, gold chains, jewels, doubloons. I remember my father, when I was very small, taking me along those cliffs to look down at the divers working beneath and telling me about it, and I really didn't understand what he was trying to say. All the treasure's now in the Ulster Museum. There's nothing left on the seabed, but it's still a protected site. You can't anchor or dive or even snorkel there. Oh, that forecast was accurate. Wind strengths have got up in the last 10 minutes. Time to concentrate and get back. Well, that was hard work into the headwind, but it's eased off again for a moment, and the swell has settled as well, so I'll be able to go on the inside of this rock, I hope. Yeah, no bother. Back into Port Ballantrae. Actually made remarkably good time even into the headwind. So, probably finish off with a couple of rolls and then get home. Of course, on the other side. Yes.